Corporate Malaysia has been abuzz over the court case between Serba Dinamik Holding Berhad and its former external auditor Kpmg. Serba Dinamik, which is an oil and gas service company, claims Kpmg did not properly carry out its statutory duties and negligently flagged non-issues, while Kpmg asserts that the issues were genuine and that it did its job by highlighting them to the regulators. Serba Dinamik was dissatisfied with Kpmg for disclosing the company's information without making the discussion with them. The issue is, Kpmg highlighted discrepancies involving transactions to tune of 4.54 billion ringgit to the company's independent directors. The issues raised were based on the financial accounts for the financial year ended 31st December 2020. It was understood that Kpmg was unable to verify the details of the third parties of these transactions. With this information, Kpmg immediately reported the matter to Bursa Malaysia without making the discussion with Serba Dinamik, and because of that, the Security Commission has frozen the sale of Serba Dinamik's shares for 2 days. And because of this, Serba Dinamik has claimed that this has caused the company loss of amount 4.9 billion ringgit in market capitalization, a loss of confidence in the market from company's shareholders, investors, and financial institutions, and also a loss of confidence with the company's customers both domestically and internationally. Going further into the case, Serba Dinamik then proceeded to sue Kpmg, but Kpmg denied all allegations and claimed it was not negligent in failing to detect the fraud. Ever since then, Kpmg has stepped down from its duties as an external auditor due to being unable to continue its duties independently upon the legal action taken by Serba Dinamik. Let's talk about the issue of this case. Did the auditor comply to the accountant's profession of confidentiality, or did the auditors really had a legal or professional duty or right to disclose any information of the company, where in this situation the auditor has disposed the company's information?
Now, let's talk about the 4 types of defense that Kpmg can use against Serba Dinamik. The first one is lack of duties. Because of Serba Dinamik sued Kpmg for breach of duty of not completing the audit, Kpmg defends that the lawsuit by Serba Dinamik on them had left them with no option but to resign, as it has compromised their ability to act independently and discharge professional judgment. The second one is contributable negligence, which is if Serba Dinamik able to provide sufficient evidence of the auditor to verify the said questionable transaction of 4.54 billion ringgit, Kpmg would not need to report to the Security Commission. The third one is non-causal connection, which is the amount of 4.93 billion ringgit of losses in capital market of Serba Dinamik is due to market investor action, and it is not directly caused on Kpmg action on alerting the Security Commission. And the last one is non-negligent performance. Serba Dinamik sued Kpmg for negligently alerting the Security Commission by flagging non-issue. Kpmg stated that, first, audit has been performed according to the ISL requirement. Second, it is Security Commission requirement for audit to alert them on any sign of incompliance or irregularity should they arise. The third one, in Section 286 subsection 3, any auditor shall be not liable to be sued in any court or subject to any criminal or disciplinary proceeding for any report under 266 submitted by the auditor. In Section 266, subsection F, if an auditor in the course of performance of his duty as auditor of company is satisfied that there has been a breach of non-observance of his duty of the provision of this Act, the auditor shall forthwith report the matter in writing to the registrar. In Section 266, subsection 9, if the auditor is of opinion that serious offence involving fraud or dishonesty is being or has been committed against company or this act by officer of the company, he shall forthwith report the matter in writing to the registrar. As a conclusion, in defense of the auditing profession, auditor must fight off all the allegations against the auditing client and not simply accept it as the auditor's fault to ensure the sustainability of the auditing profession.